interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or MOUNJARO? Then join us on The Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and MOUNJARO. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 MOUNJARO TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to The Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Alive on the MOUNJARO. It's on the pen alive with your host David Knapp.
Thank you, Clap Track, and happy Thursday night. Welcome to the 57th episode of On the Pen Live. I'm your host, Dave Knapp, man on the MOUNJARO. That's why I'm here. You are on the pen. That's why you're here. Wegovy, Saxenda, Victoza, Trulicity, MOUNJARO, Zepbound, Retatrutide, Cagrosema, any of the above. If the pen is what you're on, that's why the algorithm has you here tonight, and we're so glad that you could join us tonight for a very, very special episode of On the Pen Live, one that I've been hawking for the last 24 hours and letting you know that if this is one to catch, this is it. This is it. This is probably the most informative interview that I have done. Probably, at the top of my list for just the mind-stimulating conversation. So tonight, I am thrilled to present to you my interview on Dr. Michael Albert's TikTok platform last night. I've got it for you here tonight as tonight's hot channel. But you are here for our show On the Pen, and you know that we've got a certain rhythm and routine to this show. So without further ado, we are going to get right into our housekeeping. You want mint for pillow? Housekeeping this week, we've got a new level of membership. So if you're a member, thank you for being a member. Stacy's a new member. It's good to have you as a member, Stacy. The members of the channel support the channel for just $2.99 a month is the cheapest one that you can select, and you get access to all the custom emojis. Put those in the chat if you got them. And you get access to custom videos that are only for the members, and we do members only live stream. So check it out. $2.99 a month gives back to the channel, but we had some requests for a little bit higher tier. I mean, we got some real high tiers for like advertisers and such. But somebody asked for a $20 one, so there's now a $20 a month one there if you're interested in bumping up the subscription. Thank you for those who give every month to the work that I do here at Man on the MOUNJARO. That's what keeps this thing going. So thank you for that. I am so Thankful to have you all here as members. This is such a great community. It does my heart every week to see these names in the chat. So I really, really, really appreciate y'all. So awesome. Good to have you here tonight. That's our housekeeping for the week. Want to get into some personal stuff here. So we were talking about highs and lows for the week before we came on in the members only live chat. And gosh, so, like you can tell by my hat, right? I have recently become infatuated with eagles. So if you go back a couple of episodes, I give you the whole reason why I'm into eagles. And I'm telling you, at this point, I'm seeing them 3 to 4 times a day. And so the other day, I was driving down this real rural road, right? And this is what I saw about 50 feet from my car. I've got a whole video on it. At some point, I'll upload it to YouTube. It's over on TikTok. But that is the closest encounter I've had with one of these guys. These bald eagles, just majestic creatures. So my high for the week was meeting this guy munching on a dead deer. So that was pretty cool. Just up close and personal, right? So the eagles, I need to get an eagle emoji in here, don't I? So that was my high for the week. That was pretty cool experience seeing that eagle up close and personal. As always, the biggest super chat of the night gets to choose where I inject this bad girl. It's going to be Ozempic for at least one more week. I'm hoping next week it'll be MOUNJARO, but we got one more week of Ozempic. So if you want to get back to the stream in the form of a super chat of the night and you want to pick where I inject this thing, let me know. Biggest super chat of the night. Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about a little bit of news tonight before we get rolling, because there just is news to cover, and so we're going to get right into that. So what is the news tonight? So let's talk a little bit about the Change Healthcare hack and where that sits. So there are no updates to the Change Healthcare attack, the cyber attack, which is affecting your ability for many, many people to run their, Basil said neck injection. Don't tempt me. To run not only insurance cards, but the manufacturer savings cards. So by now, a lot of people have backup plans at their pharmacies. There's backup plans that have been implemented, whereas you can run or you can fill the prescription and they're going to run everything after the fact. Now, I've been warning on this channel. I've been warning on my TikTok for a week since this happened. We're not getting the full story on this thing here. The media is not covering it like they should be. And that is the first red flag to me that this is a bigger issue, bigger problem than they're letting on. I'm starting to see things pop up that say this could take weeks. So that's no surprise to me. If you follow this channel, it shouldn't be a surprise to you either. I've been telling you this is bigger than they're letting on. And it seems at this point it is. We're talking about 1/4 of the patients in America. We learned today that people's social security numbers, their addresses, their phone numbers, their diagnosis that they've received, radiology reports, all these things are included in over 6 terabytes worth of information that these hackers got. So this is a bad situation. And it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So one of the things that we can do as far as the manufacturer savings cards go right now is that Eli Lilly is offering a reimbursement if you're using your Zepbound savings card by that or MOUNJARO savings card, but only if your insurance pays part of the medication's cost. So if you're paying and your insurance doesn't cover it, this does not apply to you. But if you're paying and your insurance does cover some of it, the link is in the description of this video where you can click over to the Eli Lilly website, fill out the form. It sounds like Lil Chi did this already today. Fill out the form. It's called a post-transaction reimbursement form. Fill that out, and they're going to give you the difference after the fact. But this isn't anything I would bank on if you need that money. If you're going to need it anytime soon, I wouldn't bank on it. But the turnaround is going to be crazy on these things, but it does exist. And I wanted to make that resource available for you. So it's available for you in the descriptions of this video. Make sure that if you're watching right now, that you take a second out of this stream to hit that like button. That is something that really helps the work that I do. So whether you're giving super chats or a member, the easiest thing and the freest thing that you can do is just use your thumb to hit that little up button. That little thumbs up button helps to spread the word. Samantha says they're barely covering anything on it unless you know the name of the hack. You can't find any news coverage. Yep, I 100% agree. It's crazy. Matt sent me some information as well. 5,000 hospitals and medical facilities are locked out of billing. Yeah, that's crazy, right? So I want to show you guys a little something. I showed you this if you followed my podcast that drops every week. I have a podcast. It's called On the Pen, the Weekly Dose Podcast. It is drops every Monday night for members of this channel. And then it drops on all your favorite podcast platforms by Tuesday morning. But if you saw that video, you saw this already, but this is interesting. Change Healthcare, which is owned by United Healthcare and OptumRx, right? They're all the same. 700 laboratories around the country, 6,000 hospitals and health systems, 1 in 4 U.S. patient records it handles, 125,000 dentists, 39,000 pharmacies, 2,400 payer connections, and over 1 million physicians. That's the kind of data that we're working with here with Change Healthcare. And so you imagine how big and powerful a company like this is, and imagine how many dollars they're spending on media advertising. And you start to get an understanding why our media is failing us so badly at telling us what's going on in this certain situation. So yeah, we need more information about this. It's no good. So be informed, be aware, practice good digital hygiene, change passwords, be aware of phishing attempts. You know, you're going to get emails that are going to have a lot of personal information and they're going to look legit, but make sure you go that extra mile to see what the email address they're coming from is. Maybe call and with the company and verify that emails are correct, or text. We have to practice good digital hygiene at a time like this, because all of our sensitive information is out there, which is no good. So make sure that you check that out. Anna, how are you tonight? Yvonne, welcome. Good to have you all here. Mimi, good to see you tonight. Thank you for being here. So we're going to continue on. I don't have any fake news for tonight because the hot channel is such a hot channel tonight. We got an hour and a half long interview with Dr. Albert that we got to get going here. This, again, I can't stress what a fantastic conversation this was with Dr. Albert. I so appreciated the time that he gave to me in letting me come on to his platform. I can't wait to present this to you tonight. And so we're going to do that here in just a moment, but not before we run the bumper.
Hot channel.
Tonight, we are going to share such an awesome interview tonight. I had the chance to sit down with Dr. Albert. Make sure that you follow him. He does have a YouTube channel over here. And I'm so thrilled to bring this to you. If technical difficulties don't persist here, I may have to refresh my browser here. So you may lose me for a second. See if we can get this thing to work. Just a moment. course, now I'm muted. All right, so here's the deal. So the video is not working in StreamYard. It's not letting me pull it into it. I think that maybe it's because it's too long. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to upload it to YouTube. It'll probably take me 10 or 15 minutes to get it uploaded here. And then I'm going to set it as an instant premiere. When I set it as an instant premiere, it'll load as a new video, and it will hopefully we'll be able to kind of catch it all there together. So give me just a few minutes here. We can stay live here for a couple minutes if let's see how long this is going to take if I upload it in here. Let's see here. Create, upload video, select files. This may take a while because it's an hour and a half long. So let's see here. Crap. Let me see if I can get an ETA for y'all here on how long this will take. This is a major bummer, but what are you going to do? You got to roll with it sometimes, right? We're going to do public, set as an instant premiere, publish. All right. So this is an hour and a half long video. Let's see, 17 minutes it says, and then it usually takes a little bit to of time to go through its checks and everything. So I'm gonna guess like a half an hour. So it's a major bummer that didn't work out tonight. I tell you what we'll do is we'll just chat for a few minutes. If y'all have questions for me, just throw them in the chat because I don't want to deprive us of a live because I'm sure we'll lose some of y'all in the process of having to wait. But if you have any questions for me, throw them in the chat. So I'll just kind of pivot to my own personal experience. Oh, thanks, Mimi. You get used to it when you're running all this stuff by yourself. You get used to learning how to roll with the punches. So Ozempic, I'm hoping to be done with this by next week. So what happened is I filled the last pen that I had, and then we called in the prescription for MOUNJARO, and then they didn't want to cover MOUNJARO because they had just filled Ozempic. So they almost treated it like the same type of deal. So they're like, had I filled MOUNJARO, I don't know. You know how the insurance companies are. It's always trying to weasel out of this stuff. So I'm hoping that by the end of this week, I should have it in the mail. But we'll go ahead and take a shot here of Ozempic. But, so one of the things that I had talked about with Dr. Albert was the difference in what it feels like to use Ozempic versus MOUNJARO. And I talk about GLP-1 being the blunt object. It's just like a complete different experience because it's just a GLP-1 and not a GIP in GLP-1. It's just a really strong GLP-1. So if you've taken Ozempic and you've also taken MOUNJARO, let me know what your experience was. Most people did it the other way around. Most people got on MOUNJARO or got on Ozempic and then were on it for a while and then got on MOUNJARO or were on Wegovy and switched to Zepbound. I did it the other way around, and it was an interesting experience because it's just the food noise is so much stronger with the GLP-1. It's just like it doesn't work in the same part of your brain or something. So I'll be interested to hear more science comes out about that. Dr. Albert and I talked about that. We talked a little bit about kind of the differences that you experience between the medications. We talked about the differences in some of the medications that are in the pipeline and what kind of he's excited about, what I'm excited about. One of my favorite things that we talked about while we were kind of conversing about GLP-1s in general, or the class of incretin mimetic therapies, was the other things, the non-weight related, non-diabetes related applications for GLP-1s. And so I'll pose that question to the chat. When you think about this class of medications and some of the things that it's helping people with that aren't related to weight or obesity or diabetes, what are some of the things that you're excited about? What I was excited to share with Dr. Albert was I was excited to share just some of the news about how it's helping people with addiction, right? How it's helping people with alcoholism, how it's helping people with even a study came out this past week about opioid addiction. And so those are the things that I was really excited to hear about and have been excited. But there are other things. Have you heard of any things that it's helping people with that you are excited about? Sean wants to know the farthest I've driven to get a GLP-1 refilled. I think I got one refilled on the road with me one time where I was like on an airplane away from home. So that I can't remember where I think maybe I was in Arizona. So that's a long ways from home, but I've never driven more than a half an hour from where I'm at. Maintaining on 15 for 5 months. That's awesome. Wegovy's more physical fullness. Yes. That's a great way to say it. NHL Blues Girl. It's more of a physical fullness on semaglutide, and it's more of a mental thing on Tirzepatide. I 100% agree with that. Very well stated. Tracy's not losing on 5 milligrams. They don't want to go up till June. Any suggestions? Why not June? Why? I would just tell your doctor, hey, I'm moving up. Like we're moving up. What's the reason? Not helping with liver disease. Yes, that's exciting. So Sherry has liver disease, as do I. So I have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and the glucagon, the drugs that include glucagon, like Retatrutide, what they're finding is the glucagon just basically converts that liver fat to energy and just melts it off in a very short amount of time. So that is a huge one. And you also see Tirzepatide, and we talk about both of these on the interview with Dr. Albert here, which will be ready to go. We're 34% uploaded now. So I don't know, probably another 20 minutes. Tirzepatide, Retatrutide, and even Tirzepatide has shown a reversal in MASH in people in recent trials. So whether they go to phase 3 or not, that'll be TBD because they're really expensive trials to run, but we'll see about that. Matt thinks it'll help with hundreds of different illnesses. Yeah, these drugs heal your gut, which helps correct other issues. Absolutely correct, bud. Addiction part is very cool. I agree, Natalie. Food, noise, and addiction. Yeah, it's like the same part of your brain. And Dr. Albert gets into that in the live, what part of your brain that is. NHL Blue Girl has NAFLD2. Hoping that it helps. Wegovy hasn't done much. Yeah, they haven't found that semaglutide really helps that much with liver disease, but Tirzepatide definitely. Started Oz, no side effects. Now MJ 12.5 definitely having side effects more on MJ. Very interesting, Ali. 12.5 script, but can't use without savings card. Using a 5 and 7.5. The math works out to me, Leslie. I'm retired, has a huge improvement in her psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis and starting. That's awesome. We talk about that on this interview as well. Metabolic dysfunction associated stadiohepatitis. Yep. Stadiohepatitis. Retatrutide. Jennifer's still on 5 milligrams. When she tried 7.5, she got migraines. Yeah, I went with that. Hey, y'all, does anybody in the chat have a headache tonight? Because I want to teach you a trick if you do. This is mind-blowing trick. If anybody has a headache, let me know in the chat. I have an annual gynecologist appointment today. Last time I saw them a year ago, it was 209 pounds. They know little to nothing about GLP-1s. It's sad that docs aren't keeping up with these meds. Yeah, they need to follow on the pen, right? For sure, they need to follow on the pen. Absolutely. Okay, Allie, you have a headache. All right. So here's what we're going to do. If anybody has a headache now, I want you to do exactly what I tell you to do here. This is a mind-blowing trick that my sister taught me. My sister Ann taught me last week. And this is going to blow your mind. All right. So if you had a headache, all right, just look at me on the screen. Okay. So I want you to sit and I want you to stare at me on the screen. And I want you to interact with me like I'm in the room. I want you to tell me where on your head is your headache. Point to it. Where is it? Okay. Are you pointing to where your headache is? Point to where your headache is. Now I want you to tell me, how big is your headache? Is it this big? Is it just this big? Is it this big? Show me with your fingers how big it is. So you told me where it is. You told me how big it is. Now I want you to tell me what color you would say it is. Say it out loud. What color would you say it is? So we're going to do this again. Point to your head where your headache is. Show me how big your headache is. And tell me what color your headache is. We'll do it again. Where? Point to your head. On your head, where is your headache? How big is your headache? Show me with your hands. Now, what color would you say your headache is? Do you still have your headache? Let me know if that helped. My sister taught me this trick. I used it twice in the last week. Both times doing this with my wife completely got rid of my headache. I don't know what it is. Mind over matter. Just activating a different part of your brain that takes the tension off of it. If that helped with your headache, put it in the chat. I don't know. I've never done this over the internet, but my wife and I, we've been doing this with each other every time we have a headache and we get relief. Crazy, right? Not the live we expected, but it's the live we got. We're 60% uploaded on the 60% uploaded on the video here. So we're getting there. We're using up all the bandwidth live streaming and uploading a video. Jennifer still has her headache, and the cat's wondering why she's calling him orange. If you have a spouse there, have your spouse try it on you. The three things are: point to where your headache is, show me on your head where your headache is, show me with your hands how big it is, and tell me what color it is. You go through that slowly 3 times. And honestly, Allie says it helped. That's amazing. It's crazy. I don't know the science behind it, but I've been using it and it so helps me. It helps to have another person there physically with you in the room. But Allie, that's awesome if that helped. That's cool. All right, where are we at? 67%. We're getting there. Awesome, Leslie. So you're going to want to go back and catch the Dr. Albert interview. I may even just not hide this live so that people don't come to this expecting it. And I may just rename the other one On the Pen, episode 57, interview with Dr. Albert. So either way, it'll be there for you in the morning. Maybe wants a headache now so you can try it. Try to drink a bottle of Boone's Farm, Mimi. That'll get you there for sure. Yeah, have a good night, Leslie. Thank you for being here. Appreciate having you. 72%. We're getting there. I don't know how long the checks are going to go. The checks and the processing takes a long time. You're at a few pounds from the same weight you were at senior high. That's crazy. Rode a bike from your house to the beach. How far of a bike ride is that, Stacy? Hydration or electrolyte issues? Yeah, for sure. Those are something that we talk about often on this channel. With using GLP-1 medications, you're flushing fluids or you're flushing your electrolytes when you lose weight, right? And then everybody's like, push water, push water, push water. So you're pushing water on top of pushing the electrolytes. And in doing so, you're flushing out a lot of magnesium, potassium, and sodium. So if you can replace that with something like Peptide Bite, super, super helpful stuff to have. Link in the description of the video for the Peptide Bite. You can check that out. There's also this stuff called Keto Chow that's on Amazon that's pretty cheap, just drops that you can put in your water. But you want to replace the minerals, right? It's not just about drinking water. It's about drinking electrolytes as well. And that can really be a game changer if you suffer with GLP-1 induced headaches. That's a big deal. So absolutely. We're getting so close here. Thank you for everyone for being patient tonight and hanging with me. It's good to have you all here tonight. It's not the live that I was hoping for, but it's the live that we got. And so the Dr. Albert interview is currently uploading as an update. It's about 80% of the way there. And as soon as that's live, we'll do an instant premiere of that video, and we'll just move the live stream over there. What's included in the $25 tier? It's just more money for me, basically. People were asking me, they said, set one for like $25 and we'll move to that. But I don't think I really added anything extra. I don't know what else I could add at this point, but extra content is what I add for all the members. There's just different tiers for people that want to give different amounts, I guess. The highest tier is more for like advertising. So if you have a brand that you want to promote on the pin, then I put that bigger one in there. But 87% of the way there, we're so close. Group Zoom call. Oh, there's the idea. Yeah, a group Zoom call. Yeah, Mimi's do. For sure. It's good to have. Do we have any dudes left in the chat? It's a lot of ladies in the chat tonight. Sue the dude is his back was bothering him, so keep him in your prayers. I hope he's doing all right. Mimi, Creamy's lost 70 pounds on MJ and 110 total. That's insane. That is so awesome. Makes you one of the cool kids. That's right. That's right, Michelle. That's right. 91%, 92%. Man, this is such a bummer. You go to the work of promoting this thing all day long, and then technology just doesn't want to cooperate. Such a bummer. Hey, Jim. Solidarity, brother. Vanessa's lost 75 pounds, staying on all low doses. That's awesome. Natalie's down 70 pounds. It's awesome. Such amazing stories. So cool to see how far so many of you have come on your journey. 95% of the way done. I'm on 15 milligram waiting for them to get higher dose. Yeah, for sure. I wonder if I could keep it in the stream, actually. I got an idea. If this thing will work, I can pull it into this stream and just stream it from YouTube, I think. Cheryl took her last MJ pen tonight, switching over to compound due to cost. Lost 50 pounds just over a year. Hope it works as well for me. I think it does for most people, Cheryl. So I have high hopes for you. 5 hasn't worked for you, Jim, trying to get the doctor to bump you up. 14 pounds in 2 years. That's awesome. 14 pounds is 14 pounds. Yeah, Creamy. YouTube's got a ways to go. They got to up their game a little bit in the way that they have some of their stuff. Processing will begin shortly. Have you ever seen that Office episode where they make Ryan the director, and he comes back to Dunder Mifflin, Scranton, and he's doing a presentation on PowerPoint, and Michael gets his laptop open, and he was supposed to have it downloaded and ready, and he opens, and he goes, "You haven't even downloaded it, Michael?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I mean, we just gotta download it." He's like, all right, this says it'll take 15 minutes. So that should take about 3 minutes. This is exactly what it reminds me of, because now it's got to process content. Processing will begin shortly. Okay. Thanks for hanging with me, folks. 72 of you in here tonight. It's such a bummer the way that this is shaking out. Such a bummer. Gosh, I'm so bummed. Creamy's been buying swimsuits and anticipated for summer. That's awesome. Me too. Am I still thinking of surgery? Oh, yeah, that's still on the table for sure. And I ultimately think that's probably where things will end up. It's just a shame with so many promising medications on the pipeline. I would rather not rearrange my anatomy. Oh, Jim, thanks for that, buddy. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. Appreciate that. 54 minutes left. Yeah. All right. So here's the deal. 54 minutes to process. That sucks. Well, all right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna end this stream. I guess just another opportunity to jump in here live. But you can catch the Dr. Michael Albert video. We'll be ready to go here in about an hour. That's getting pretty late for people. It's getting pretty late for me too, to wait that long. I appreciate you for hanging out with me tonight. The Michael Albert interview will upload and be available to you shortly. Thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I owe you all one. This is a bummer that this is the way that this show turned out tonight, but just the way the cookie crumbles and we roll with it. I appreciate y'all hanging with me tonight. Still 72 of you here, even though there's no content. But it's just a testament to what a great community this is. It's so great to get together every week and to get to see the same names pop up week in and week out and just kind of catch up with everybody and be an encouragement to everybody. I mean, I couldn't ask for this to be a better community. So thank you to Jim for the super chat tonight. Thank you for those who are members of the channel and support the work that I do in that way. I really, really appreciate it. And I can't wait to watch this Michael Albert video when it comes on here in about an hour. If any of you are still up, it's a chance to get together again here in about an hour. But thank you for being here. Appreciate y'all. We'll catch you on the next one. Until next week, make sure you jump over to the podcast. Give the podcast a 5-star rating and review. That's something that we could do as a team here with 70 people in here. If you can just pull your podcast app up and give On the Pen, the weekly dose, a 5-star rating, I would really appreciate that, because that podcast is a ton of work. And so I'm kind of teetering on whether to keep it going or not, because it's one of those things that it's like, if it's not going to get a bunch of traction, I don't want to put a bunch of time into it. But I enjoy doing it. I think it's a good place to get the weekly news out for GLP-1. So I think that if you want to go over and give it a 5-star rating and review right now, real quick, on your podcast app, the link is in the description of this video. So if you go to the description, scroll down a little bit, it'll say My Podcast. You can click on that, just give it a 5-star rating. You could write a review too if you have a minute. That I think helps the algorithm kind of pick it up and prioritize it. Jim says left thigh, but I already injected it in my right thigh. So I'll give you the next one, Jim. How about next time you're in here? Let's jump over to the podcast, give it a 5-star rating and review, and we'll circle back here and let's see if it still says 50 minutes. Yeah, 50 minutes left. Such a freaking bummer. But all right, we'll catch it. We'll catch it later. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the best part of what I do here at On the Pen with Man on the MOUNJARO. Until next week, we'll catch you on the flippity flip.